Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS EdTech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad. Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gap where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Hi everyone, it's 4:40 in the afternoon. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you are hanging out and learning with me. It's a Tutor Nova for today. So I hope everyone is having a great Tuesday, because Tuesday means English Day. So I welcome you here in a new learning experience here in our ETUlay session. Again, this is Tutor Nova for today. And of course, I am actually partnering with Tutor Alvin all the way from SDO Pampanga. But Sir Alvin has an important meeting to attend to today, so it's going to be me today, my 21st century learners and my oral communication learners. All right, so we are going to be together for 40 minutes today. Okay, so we are actually on Q1, week number 5, and tackling about types of speech context. All right, so last week, we actually were able to define and exemplify verbal and nonverbal communication. And also, we were able to determine the verbal and nonverbal cues that a speaker uses. And we were also able to evaluate the effectiveness of an oral communication activity. So we were able to target our goals last week for week number 4. Now, I would also like to check if you still remember what we have learned last time through just a very short assessment. So, Sir Vin, let me just quickly switch my PowerPoint presentation this time. All right, so let us try to assess what you have learned for week number 4. Okay, this is going to be easy. So you just have to write O after the item number if the statement is true. Otherwise, you need to comment X if it is false, okay? So again, our instruction is very simple. All you have to do is make use of the comment section today and write O if the statement is true, and write X if the statement is false. And I know everyone's a fan of what we call the Squid Game, so our assessment today has something to do with the Squid Game. All right, it's O and X today. Oh, okay. We have number 1. Here is our number 1 question. Consider ethics in your speech at all times. Is it O or X? What do you think is the answer for number 1? Okay. Is it O or X? Hopefully our students today can answer our question number 1 for you not to get eliminated. Now, let's find out the answer for number 1. The correct answer for number 1 is it's O, which means to say it is true. Now, let's have number 2. Effective use of nonverbal communication can strengthen your message. What do you think is the answer for number 2? Okay, now let me quickly try to look at the comment section through my phone. All right, wait a minute. Okay. All right. I'll also be giving you more time to answer number 2 question. Okay, let's reveal the answer for number 2. Effective use of nonverbal communication can strengthen your message. Is it true or false? It is indeed true. It is effective use of nonverbal communication can strengthen your message. Now let's also try to have number 3 question. How you communicate reflects who you are as a person. What do you think is the answer for number 3? Is it true or false? Okay, we have here Sarah Telyada answering O. All right, let's see. Number 3, it's true. How you communicate really reflects who you are as a person. Now let's try to have number 4. One way to help you build credibility is through effective non-verbal communication. So the keyword here is non-verbal communication. Is it true or false? All right, so we have students answering on the comment section that we have here. We have Isabella George Sibial. We have Crenty Aliviano. We also have Christian Jones, the Keegan. All of them answered O, so it's true. Let's find out what's the answer for number 4. Number 4 answer is true. Now let's have number 5. Number 5 question is, there are certain words that are only appropriate at certain times and places. What do you think is the answer for number 5? Is it true or false? Okay. Oh, so our students right here, they're actually answering X. The others were also answering O, which means true. Let's find out. The correct answer for number 5 is still true. Okay, I think no one in the comment section is eliminated today, so let's enjoy the rest of the game. Let's have number 6. Here is our number 6 question. To achieve clarity, we must speak the same language as our listeners. Ooh, so what do you think is the correct answer for number 6? Is it true or false? Of course, you need to answer the correct answer in the comment section for you to not get eliminated. So the correct answer for number 6 is, wow, it's true. It's true that for you to achieve clarity, you must speak the same language as your listeners so that there will be no linguistic barrier. Let us have number 7. Okay. So the number 7 question is the use of too many fillers like okay, can distract your listeners. What do you think is the answer for number 7? Is it true or false? Make sure to input your answer on the comment section for you to not get eliminated. Let's have number 7. Okay, number 7. What do you think is the answer for number 7, my dear students? Oh, they were answering O, which means true. Do you agree? Okay, we also got here O, another O answer, which means true. Oh, again? All right, let's reveal the answer for number 7. Number 7 answer is true. Okay, very good. Now let's have number 8. Number 8 question is, verbal communication is better than nonverbal communication. Wow, that's quite a debate. So let us hear an answer for number 8. What do you think is the answer for number 8? Make sure again to input your answers in the comment section for you to not get eliminated. Of course, we want to win the, what was it? The prize. The prize for this assessment exercise. Number 8, some of them are answering O on the comment section, which means true. And the others, yeah, most of our students are answering O or true. What do you think is the correct answer for number 8? Let's reveal the answer. Number 8 is ink. It's a false, right? Nothing's better than the other because actually both of them are very useful in communication. It should have the combination of the two. It's a perfect ingredient for communication, the presence of verbal and nonverbal. Now let's have number 9. Here is our number 9 question. When you talk to others, you should not assume too quickly that they understand the message that you convey. Is this statement true or false? What do you think, my senior high school students? Let's try to look at the comment section. All right. Okay, Mary Jane Ciclot says here, hello, hi. And says good afternoon too. All right, thank you so much for being here. Let's try to see the answer for number 9. I think some of our students answered here true or 0 or O. Now let's try to reveal the answer for number 9. Number 9 is true. You should not assume too quickly that they understand the message that you convey. We are now down to our last question for today. Let's try to see if you can have the perfect score, which is actually consisting of 10 points today. Let's find out. Okay, let's have number 10. Here is our number 10 question. When you communicate, choose what you want to say and how you want to say it. Again, number 10 question is asking, when you communicate, choose what you want to say and how you want to say it. Is it true or false? Again, if it's true, you type O, and if it's false, you type X. What do you think is the correct answer for number 10? Let's try to read some at the comment section. All right. I think that our students right here are actually answering O, which means they think that this statement is true. All right. Number 10 is true. Right. When you communicate, bear in mind you need to choose what you want to say and how you want to say it. So always be kind of your words, my dear students. Okay, there we go. But for now, I would also like to say to our dear director, let me try to switch my PowerPoint presentation. Okay. All right. So that was it. That was actually consisting of 10 points, my dear students. So I'd like to say congratulations if our students were able to get a 10 points. All right. So let us try to have this next slide. So now, earlier we were able to have our assessment for week number 4. And so far, you guys really made me so proud. No one's eliminated today because all of you answered perfectly great on our week number 4 assessment. So for week number 1, these are our topic until week number 4. And I think you can still remember those vividly. I hope so, because Sir Alvin was able to comprehensively discuss the week number 1 to week number 4. So we are now down to week number 5, which is about types of speech context. Now, before we move on directly to our topic today, I also wanted to check your schema, or I also wanted to check how analytical my students are here with me today. So I have here just a very quick activity for you. Here is my instruction. So I want you to read carefully and evaluate the statements written inside the circle. Then select from the given communication context what you think matches the phrase. And you need to choose the letter of the correct answer. So we have actually 5 choices today. It's A, B, C, D, E. So letter A choice, I think you can see that on your end, which is communication in public. Letter B is communication with self. Letter C is communication between two persons. And letter D is mass communication. Letter E is communication in a small group. Now, let's move on to the circle that we have here, which is what you need to analyze here. Now, number 1, the situation is consoling a friend who is feeling down. Oh my, oh my. Okay, so number 2 situation is cheering yourself before an important event. Oh, I often do this, especially before being here with you. I also try to cheer up myself in front of the mirror. What do you think is that? Now, number 3 situation is delivering your graduation speech to your fellow graduates. And number 4 situation is discussing with your group mates your assigned report, which I think this situation is very familiar to you because you're often grouped by your teachers. Now, number 5 situation is articulating your stand on a current issue. So here are our situations that you need to analyze carefully, my dear students. And I want you to try to look for the keywords that will help you unlock what would be the correct answer for these statements or situations that you can see on the circle. And again, the choices are actually provided here. You can see on the right part of your screen that's labeled from A, B, C, D to E. Now, I will be giving you perhaps I know that my students are actually very, amazing and bright. So I'll just give you 20 seconds to think about this quick activity here, okay? 20 seconds starts now, my dear students. Now, while you are actually processing what you have here on the circle, let me try to look at here the comment section just for me to greet you. Okay, so hi to all of our students right here tuning in with us. We actually got here Zyrene Van Hakaba. We also got here Inaj Erica Galang, my student from summer camp. Hi, Inaj. Thank you for being with me today. And oh, you can also type or key in your answers on the comment section, my dear student. You can do that so that once we try to reveal the answers later, let's see if you were able to get 5 points for this activity today. All right, so we also got here a lot more students joining in with us in the class. We have Angela Kilaton Soliano, my students from City of Bogo Science and Arts Academy. Hi. Thank you for being here. Attendance check. Okay. I think 20 seconds is up. So let us try to evaluate if you have the correct answer here. Okay, let's try. All right, so these again are our situations. And earlier before here, on the previous slide, I've actually provided choices for you. So we have number 1. So the situation for number 1 is consoling friend who is feeling down. You know, it happens, right? It happens, especially after exam. You don't know what's actually a friend is going through after every exam. You know, the worries after answering an exam, especially now it's pandemic and we still have virtual classes. So when you console a friend who is feeling down, what do you think is that? What type of communication or what type of speech context is that? All right, so when you console a friend, it's actually communication between two persons, right? Because you're consoling a friend. Only one friend, a friend. Right, that's consoling between two persons. Now, number 2 situation is cheering yourself up before an important event. Did it also happen to you, my dear students? Did you try doing this? Like when you feel down, like you think that you can't do such a thing, And then when you look at yourself, oh my, I have a very frowning face. So I should try to smile a bit. And I tell to myself, you can do this. Don't give up, something like that. You cheer yourself before an event. So what do you think is this situation number 2 telling us? Let's try to see on the comment section. All right, so for number 2, the others were answering B. Okay, others. Oh, most of our answers are actually B. Okay, let's reveal the situation number 2 answer, I mean. So number 2 is communication with self. Right. That's it. Now let's have number 3. The situation tells us delivering your graduation speech to your fellow graduates. Now, what does this situation tell? So let's try to find out on the comment section your answers. Okay, we have for number 3 is letter A. Okay. Most of the answers are actually A. Wow. Well, parang you actually have the same thinking right here, my dear students. Okay, let's try to find out what is the answer for number 3. Right. So when you deliver a graduation speech to your fellow graduates, you actually do communication in public. Okay? Now for number 4, discussing with your group mates your assigned report. What do you think the situation tells us? When you discuss it with your group mates, probably you are often grouped more than 3 or 4 or 5, it depends. What do you think is this situation tells us? Let's try to find out your answers on the comment section. Let's see. Okay, for number 4, I think some of our students are answering letter E as an ego. So let's try to reveal the answer for number 4. Right. Because discussing with your group mates your assigned report is actually telling us it's a communication in a small group. Okay, now we are down to the last one. It's number 5 situation. Number 5 situation is articulating your stand on a current issue. Especially now, it's almost election, right? I can see most of my newsfeed are actually from some of my students, trying to share their political views. And, although we have different political views, we just have to respect each other's political views, right? So, what do you think is the situation number 5 tells us? Right. Let's reveal the answer for number 5. It is mass communication. All right. Now, we actually were able to reveal what this situation tells us. So, it's like communication between 2 persons, communication with self, communication in public, communication in a small group, and mass communication. So these 5 are actually our focal point in today's discussion because we are going to be talking about types of speech context. Of course, it's supposedly going to be Sir Alvin today and of course myself. But then I think Sir Alvin is with us here on the comment section. Hi, Sir Alvin. Annyeong. Okay, so let's try to discuss about the types of speech context today. And our targets in today's discussion is we need to define speech context. We also need to identify the various types of speech context in different situations. And we also employ appropriate verbal and nonverbal behavior in different speech context. Now, what is context? Actually, when we try to know the models of communication, this is the 9th element, which is context. Now, context refers to the environment where communication takes place. It is also the set of circumstances or facts that surround a particular event or situation. And context in speech is a situation that brings people to a conversation or a speaking event. You just have to remember context is the environment where communication takes place. Okay? Bingo. Now, speech context refers to 3 things. Number 1, it's the person speaking. Number 2, the situation, event, or occasion. And number 3, the person being addressed or spoken to. you have to remember these three things that the speech context refers to. Okay? Now we have the types of speech context that we will be tackling today. We have the intrapersonal communication, we have interpersonal communication, we have public communication, and lastly, we have mass communication. Let us try to break down these terms right here because we will be discussing these one by one. Now, our first one is intrapersonal communication. Now, intrapersonal communication refers to communication that centers on one person, where the speaker acts both as the sender and the receiver of the message. Ooh, wow. So, our intrapersonal communication, we actually have a feedback. It happens in only one person. We act as the sender and the receiver of the message. So, do you also do that? Did it ever happen to you that when you when you actually express something and you have no one to talk to, so you talk to yourself, and then yourself answers you too? Wow, amazing. This is what we call the intrapersonal communication. So we have examples of intrapersonal communication right here. Okay. My dear director, let me try to switch my PowerPoint presentation. By the way, my students, just a disclaimer, tutor here is actually having just a slight technical problem with a PowerPoint presentation, but the show must go on. So let us try to switch our PowerPoint presentation quickly. Okay. All right, now. All right, here. Okay, so again, as I was talking about intrapersonal communication, the examples of intrapersonal communication is having self talk through a mirror on how you could gain academic success despite the COVID-19 pandemic. So, as you can see, the girl, she's actually having this moment wherein she looks at herself in the mirror. And perhaps she's asking herself, can I do this? Will I be able to pull off virtual classes? Or maybe she's also asking, how can I actually still make my parents proud? And then she can also answer to herself, ooh, I can make my parents proud by still studying and being honest with my academics. And I just need to try to be organized with my study skills so that I can still make my parents proud. Those are some small talks but it actually has a substance, and that's intrapersonal communication. It has a power because especially now it's mental health awareness, and I guess intrapersonal communication works like magic. It's a type of communication that has a power, that gives us power from within, and this is actually such a great communication. Intrapersonal communication is a great way for you to try to also analyze yourself as a person. Now, another example for intrapersonal communication is what we call here. What we have here is like a picture of a student looking at her diary. So, writing your own diary wherein you are the only person allowed to read its content. This is actually an example of intrapersonal communication. It's within, for yourself, okay? So, remember the keyword. It's a communication that happens within yourself. Okay? Again, the first type that we discussed today is intrapersonal communication. Now we have the next one, which is interpersonal communication. And as you can see, we have a group of people. And I think that these are Sir Alvin's co teachers. And can you spot on Sir Alvin here on the comment, on the picture? Let's see if you can spot on Sir Alvin here. Let's try to read some comments. All right, talking to yourself. Yeah, that's interpersonal communication, right? Oh, okay. All right. I hope you were able to spot on Sir Alvin on that picture. Well, anyway, interpersonal communication, this refers to communication between and among people and establishes a personal relationship between and among them. Okay? This is interpersonal communication. This is like the contrary to the intrapersonal communication. So intra is self, inter, you have other people now that that are involved here in this type of communication. Now, since we said earlier that interpersonal communication happens between and among people, so we have here the two types of interpersonal communication. Now, the first type is what we call the dyad communication. Now, the dyad communication occurs between two people. Okay, so say for example here on the picture, this is actually a home visitation that we do mostly during the face-to-face classes. So your teacher conducted a home visitation and talk with your mother. So this is a dyad communication because it only involves two people, your teacher and your mom. Okay, so this is dyad communication. Now, another example that we have here is a picture of two students. So you provided comfort to a friend who was feeling down. And this is an example of a dyad communication because as we can see on the picture, there are only two people here, two students. They're also friends. So the other friend is comforting the other. Okay? So this is dyad communication. It happens between two people. All right. Now, the other type of interpersonal communication is what we call the small group communication. And as what we have mentioned earlier, the interpersonal communication happens between and among people. So between is what we call the dyad communication. And the among people is what we call the small group communication. Now, the small group communication, it involves at least three but not more than 12 people. I want you to remember these key words here. Again, small group communication involves at least three so that it will break the because earlier we said that dyad communication happens between two people only. Okay, remember that. Now it will become a small group communication if it's now involving at least three but not more than 12 people. That is what we call the small group communication. And then they engage in a face to face interaction to achieve a desired goal. And say, for example, here on the pictures that you can see on your screen, we have here the language teachers of your school are having a meeting for the upcoming National Reading Month. By the way, my dear students, do you know that when is the National Reading Month? Do you know? Let's see if you have it on the comment section. Who can guess? When do we have National Reading Month? When do we celebrate it? What month do we have the National Reading Month? Okay, still waiting for your answers though. Let's try. I'm just quite curious here. Let's see if our students know when do we celebrate National Reading Month. Okay, we have Jenny Yabut here says November. Wow, perfect. Daniela Denise Manalili also here says Nov. That's me, right? I am Nov. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, we have here a student who made it a bingo moment, which is November is actually the National Reading Month. Okay, so we have a lot of new activities for Reading Month. I think that the Department of Education and DepEd Educational Technology Unit are preparing for this one. Well, I also got my name for the month of November. I was born in November, so that's why my name is Nova. That's right. That's just a quick trivia. But anyway, moving on. We have another example here under the small group communication, which is the picture on your right. So we have here your group leader distributes and discusses your roles in your presentation, right? Especially during face-to-face classes, your teacher often groups you into 3, 4, 5, or maybe 10. So that's actually considered as a small group communication under the interpersonal communication. Okay, so I hope you can remember and distinguish the difference between intrapersonal and the interpersonal communication. Ooh, see. Now, our next type is what we call the public communication. Now, public communication, this type refers to communication that requires you to deliver or send the message before or in front of a group. That is what we call a public communication. In other words, you communicate to the public. That's public communication. Oh, see, we have here the different examples under public communication. So on the first picture, which is the picture on your left, let's have this one first. So your teacher informs you of the rules and mechanics of the game. This is actually a public communication because, as you can see, there are a lot of students there and you talk to them. So that's a public communication. Now, the other picture on your right, the guest speaker challenges the completers to aim for a better life during a moving up ceremony. So this is an example of public communication. I think I lost count how many students are there. If I can count it until 12, it is still considered a small group communication because it's only for 12 people on the maximum. But it's public communication if there are a lot of them, more than 12. It's public communication, okay? And you are delivering it in front of these people. That is public communication. Now let's have our next type, which is the mass communication. Now, mass communication, my dear students, this refers to communication that takes place through television, radio, newspapers, magazines, books, billboards, internet, and other types of mass media. That is what we call the mass communication. Now, we have examples for you here. Now, the first example for mass communication on the picture left, on the left picture, we have here Robert reads a newspaper to keep himself updated with the latest issues. That is mass communication. Now, the other picture is Magnolia browses current information and events through the internet. That is mass communication. Just remember, mass communication involves the media. Okay, that's why we call it the mass communication. All right, there we go. Now, my dear students, always remember that speech context, it is actually tackling the intrapersonal communication, the interpersonal communication, and do not forget that the interpersonal communication, we have two types. We have the dyad communication, which is between two people, and small group communication happens at least 3 to 12 people. And public communication, when you deliver it in front of a lot of people. And mass communication, it's involving around media like television, books, magazine. So I hope you were able to identify the different speech contexts today. All right, the different types of speech context. Now that we have discussed the different types of speech context, let's just quickly have just a small assessment for you. Oh, by the way, always remember that learning how to communicate effectively is a never ending task because every person and every situation presents a unique challenge to achieving a reciprocal, authentic communication. All right? It's a never ending task. So somehow, maybe you're asking, teacher, now I know that there are different types of speech contexts. Will it make me a better communicator now? Yeah, of course, it contributes to it because it's important that you know when to communicate, how to communicate. But it's a never-ending task because there are still more things that you should know for you to for you to communicate effectively. All right. Okay. Now, my dear director, let me switch my screen here. We will have a very quick assessment for my students here. All right. So, read and analyze the following items. Choose and write the letter of the best answer on your paper. Oops. I hope you haven't heard that. But yeah, number one is what type of speech context happens when two persons interact? Oh, I think I tackled this just earlier, minutes ago. So, what type of speech context happens when two persons interact? Is the letter A, dyad, letter B, mass communication, letter C, public communication, or letter D, small group? What do you think is the answer for number one? All right, let's try to read some comments right here on the comment section. Oh, wow, we actually have here a very genius student. Isaac. Isaac here says public communication equals communication between n people. And 12 and n is an integer. Wow. Mathematical equation too is also involved. That's good. You were able to analyze a situation or the communication process through this equation. That's a bravo for you. Okay, so number one, what type of speech context happens when two persons interact? This is actually a lot of students are answering letter A. Letter A. Is this the correct answer? Let's reveal. Bingo, letter A is dyad. Always remember dyad communication is between two people. Okay? Now, number two. What type of speech context refers to communication that focuses on one person in which the speaker acts as both the sender and receiver of the message? What do you think is the answer for number two? Is it A, intrapersonal, letter B, interpersonal, letter C, mass communication, and letter D, public communication? What do you think is the answer for number two? Let's wait for your answers on the comment section. Okay. Oh, all right. So we have here answering A. Okay, the others were answering D. Is it public communication? Oh, Isaac, you have fans here, Isaac Newton. I hope Isaac can also share to us what school he comes from. Okay, number two, letter A, intrapersonal. Let's try to check if our answers are correct. Okay, number two is letter A, intrapersonal, because always remember if it's intra itself, okay? It's within. All right, now number three. Okay. Oh, okay. I think there was just a slight. Okay, here is our next number four. I think we were skipping number three because there was just a slight technical problem with number three. Let's have number four instead. Okay, so this is a true or false statement. So, speech context refers to the number of communicators and the setting in which the communication process takes place. Is it true or false? Can you try to key in your answers in the comment section? If it's true, write true. If it's false, of course, write false. Okay? Of course, teacher. All right, so what do you think is the answer for number four? Is it true or false? Okay. True. Okay. So a lot of students answered true. What do you think is the answer for number four? It's true. So speech context refers to the number of communicators and the setting in which the communication process takes place. Now, number five question. Again, this is true or false. So in dyad and small group communication, you have to listen carefully and understand what the other person is saying. Asking clarifying questions will let the other person know that you are indeed listening attentively. Is it true or false, my dear students? What do you think is the answer for number five? Okay, okay. Let's wait for your answers in the comment section. True. Okay, let's see. Will anybody say false? Will no one object? Let's see. Okay, still waiting for your answers though. All right. Ooh, okay. Most of them are answering true on the comment section. So the answer for number five is bingo. It's true. All right. So I think hopefully we still have more time, but sadly we don't have much time. But anyway, my dear students, for today we tackle the different types of speech context. So again, always remember. Okay, let me try to switch my screen. Okay, so here we will wrap today's session. Always remember that speech context is consisting of the types, which is the intrapersonal communication, only one. Interpersonal, we have the two types. We have dyad communication happens between people. It's two people. Now, small group communication, always remember the number. It's at least three, and the maximum is 12. Now, public communication is delivering it in front of a lot of people in public. Now, mass communication is a communication or a type wherein it happens in magazines, reading books, or even magazines or books, newspapers. That's mass communication. So, my dear students, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope I can see you again for our week number 6. A lot more things to expect here in oral communication in context. This is Tutor Nova, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!